Meanwhile, police and prosecutors continue their joint investigation into the captain, crew, and owner and founder of the marine company, that operate the Sewol-ho ferry. For more details, let's go live to our Yoo Li-an at the news center. Li-an, what are we learning of late from that probe?
Hi, Conn-young. 11 of the 15 crew members that were rescued from the ship have been charged with negligent homicide and violating maritime law. The prosecutors say the crew members did not carry out any rescue operation and hid in the steering room while they were waiting to be rescued by the Coast Guard. The charges carries a minimum of 3 years in prison. Now, a number of those crew members questioned by authorities have admitted that they did not try to rescue the passengers aboard. Now, as for the captain, Joon-seok, who was one of the first people to escape the doomed ferry, authorities are still looking into charging him with what something's called a murder by omission. Now, murder by omission is pursued when death is caused by inaction on the part of the defendant.
Now, Li-an, prosecutors are also cracking down on the operator of the ferry, the Conn-young Marine Company. Tell us more about that.
That's right, Conn-young. Prosecutors seem to think that the fundamental reason behind the sinking of the ferry could lie with its operator, which faces allegations that it lobbied its way out of regular safety checkups. A joint investigation team is now looking through the documents collected from its raid of the offices and home of the company owner Yoo Li-an. The company's audit report last year showed that its entertainment expenses since 2001 had amounted to over $900,000. The prosecution is also looking into both Conn-young Marine Company and its affiliate Conn-young to review how these expenses were used, with speculation again that some of it may have gone toward lobbying lawmakers to opt out of safety checks and also to increase their assets.
Right, it will keep a close eye on that. Li-an, now the government is also launching a review of all disaster countermeasures. What's the latest there?
That's right. The Disaster Control Tower has announced plans to review its disaster countermeasure manuals in all ministries. As you may remember, the Coast Guard and the government were criticized for their slow response to the accident, raising speculation that the emergency procedure and command chain failed to operate properly. Now, during a ministerial level meeting Thursday, Prime Minister Chung Hong-won said a safety innovation master plan should be made. He suggested private safety personnel be consulted to come up with a practical plan. This comes after President Park Geun-hye called for the review of the entire disaster and emergency response systems. Now, the Maritime Ministry has also announced that it will revise related laws to revoke a crew member's license if a ferry accident leads to any deaths. There's also new legislation that has been introduced that would make it illegal for captains without first-class sailing licenses to sail vessels weighing more than 6,000 tons. The Sewol-ho came in at nearly 7,000 tons. The captain of the Sewol-ho ferry, Joon-seok, holds a second-class sailing license, which is allowed under current regulations. I'll bring you more updates in our later newscasts.